Imagine your name in lights in Forbes, Black Enterprise, Essence, Business Insider. Leverage media to position your brand and position your business. You're going to hear all about it right after this.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone. Hey, dolls. Hey, gents. Thank you so much for checking out the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the World Wide Web. Hello to all those that are coming in from all across Facebook. Hey there. Hey, my personal page, my business page, Coaching with Vet Facebook group. How y'all doing? Welcome to all those that are coming in from Periscope. Go ahead and give me some hearts. Go ahead and just tap and give me some hearts right now. Those that are listening in from YouTube, hey, and of course, Sharvette.com. And you might be listening from an Alexa device or iTunes or Stitcher or any of those places. We are so excited to have you joining us for another live episode of the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. I am super excited because I have hanging out with me in the virtual studio an amazing guest that is all things PR, all things media. We have Maleeka Hollaway that is with us. So listen, you don't want to move. You don't want to miss this. She is an award-winning publicist and entrepreneur. She's obsessed with professional development, public relations, and small business. She's the founder of the official Maleeka Group, affectionately known as the OMG, which is a full service public relations and brand agency. And so we're going to talk all about media and how you leverage that to position your personal brand and your small business and your large business and your gigantic business and all of that. So as you're coming on in, go ahead and let us know where you are listening from, where you are watching from, and we want to show you some love and give you some love over in the comments. All right, over there, we want to go ahead and give you some love. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring my guest on live into the studio. Hello, Maleeka Hollaway. Welcome to the
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I mean, I was just about to say on this great Monday, but I think it's Tuesday. I think I lost track of what day it is a long time ago.
Oh my God, I totally feel the same. I'm like, where am I and what day is it? And I'm asking myself every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Wonderful. You are not alone.
I am not alone. I'm not alone. Maleeka, we have people coming on in from all over. Hey there, Erica Land, one of our listeners from Richmond, Virginia, and others that are coming on in. And so I want to jump in because this topic around PR and media, and I have followed you online. And so you are absolutely an expert and can share with our audience. But I want to go back a little bit and talk about how did you even get into this space?
Right. So depending on when someone started following me online or met me in person, if they met me at a different part in my journey, then PR is still relatively new. I've been doing PR specifically, focused and honed in on it for about 3 years in the business. Before, I was doing more of light business coaching, but more ghostwriting and editing. So communications is my thing. That's who I am. At the core, I'm a communication specialist. And so most business owners, or the stuff that they don't tell you, is that it takes you some time to figure out exactly where that lane is, where you can really excel and where you really want to grow. Because I think when you start out in year one, it's I don't know if I can do this for the next, 10, 15, 20 years. And so it takes some time. And then when I found my sweet spot, I was like, oh yeah, this is it. I'm riding this until I decide that I don't want to anymore. So depending on when you met me, you probably know me for different things. And all of those things are still relevant and still true today. But I'm very specific when I say, hey, I pick one thing to be known for, and I stick with it, and that's what I encourage everybody to do. So that's where that PR hat comes in.
All right. I love it. I love it. And so when we think about PR, I'd love to define some things, because there's probably like, what's the difference between public relations and advertising and media and all that good stuff?
Yeah, so that's a big, I like to bust these myths like every other day. And so public relations is all about public perception and reputation management, and making sure that who you say you are is really who you are. Like how you show up public facing, that's what we manage, or that's what we do. So we're like your spokesperson behind the scenes, and sometimes in front of the scenes. And so what happens is, many times, especially in the online business space, there's so many lines that are blurred. So people think that, PR is marketing, and marketing is sales, and sales is advertising, and it's all one big melting pot. And that's not specifically true. So I always tell, my clients and my listeners that PR is a part of your marketing plan, but it's not your whole marketing plan. Because my agency specifically, we focus on earned media and owned media. So that means your own platform, as well as telling your story to the platforms who already have your audience. Other agencies do focus on like social media management, Facebook advertising or social advertising, billboards, pay-per-click, those type of things. And so all of them help position your brand to be where it needs to be. But specifically when it comes to PR, I say it's more about storytelling than anything. What is your story? Why is it relevant? Why is it newsworthy? And why should people know? You'd be surprised how many people can't answer that question. Like, why do people need to know who you are?
Why do we care? Why do we care? Oh, this is good already. Shout out to Tony Winston, who's like tagged some other boss ladies and said, hey, y'all need to listen. Come on, Sherry, Tiffany, and Dominique. We're glad to have you listening in. And so when I love the thought of storytelling, because really that's really what it is. And so, not that you have any clients like this, but do you have people who are maybe their story's boring, or they haven't figured out how to tell their story?
I have encountered people who are like as boring as watching paint dry sometimes. It's like, all right, I hear
Nobody that's watching, none of y'all.
None of y'all. None of my current clients. But it's like, I hear you, but get to the point. What do people need to know? Because you don't have all day. Let's just say you're 40 years old. You don't have 40 years to tell your whole story. You have about 30 seconds. So what is it that people need to take away? Like, what do they need to know? And so a large part of our work is getting those pieces out and pulling out the important stuff. Because if people, they hear you and they like you, they get to know you, they trust you, they'll find out all the other stuff on the back end. But when you have their attention for your 5 minutes of fame, you need to tell them exactly what they need to know. Like, why do they need to work with you? Why do they need to listen to you? Why should they even take time? And I look at it this serious, like really seriously. Why should they take time out of their 24 hours to even listen to you for 60 seconds? What are you going to say in that 60 seconds that could possibly change their life? Like, you can't use your time to waste time because you'll lose it. The opportunity comes where people want to hear from you. They're interested. But if you miss it, you may never get that opportunity again. So it's important to not be boring.
There you go, listeners. If you don't take anything else away, don't be boring. If you're just tuning in and you're just popping in, hey, I'm Sharvette Mitchell, the host of the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. We have the dynamic, beautiful Maleeka Hollaway with us, who's an award-winning publicist and entrepreneur. Has definitely put major brands out there. Yourself, we can find your articles, we can find your clients' articles and things like MSN and Forbes and Entrepreneur and all of that. And so I think a lot of people have aspirations of, I want to see my name in lights. And so before they get to the lights and the glam and the, all of that, what are things people should think about of having in place before they even think about seeking media attention?
Yeah, number one, you need to know who you are, and you have to be extremely comfortable with who you are. One of the biggest objections that, I believe that we have in the PR industry, or honestly in business, it's not about money. It's like, I can't pay for the service, or I can't pay for the course, or whatever it is. Most of the times people just can't. It's like they're not drinking their own Kool-Aid. They want you to drink it, but they're not drinking it. And because they're not clear on who they are and they're not comfortable enough to show up in a different way. And so I would say more than anything, you have to know who you are and what your purpose is out here in the world. Like, what are you here for? Even if it's in business, you know, what is your why? You can say that as well. But the first thing you need to be crystal clear on is what you're out here for. Like, what are you doing? Because you will confuse people. We all know in business, a confused mind does nothing. They will not buy, they will not share, they will not listen, they will not read. And so you have to know and be comfortable with who you are, how you show up. Like, you have to be okay with, you know, who you be when you're not in the limelight. That's another thing. So I feel like as a publicist, sometimes we operate in dual spaces.
Yeah.
We're the publicist, and then sometimes we have to be the coach. Sometimes we have to be the cheerleader. Every now and then, it's like, let me throw the mini therapist hat on because I'm not licensed or anything in that. But in that, it's getting to the root of, like, who are you? What do you want people to know? And so we do some mindset work over here. I don't think it ever goes away. That's why I'm really obsessed with, like, that personal and professional development, because I've seen it show up in this space in more ways than one. So if I could say, if anything, it's know who you are and be comfortable with it. Because if you're not comfortable, other people, they won't be comfortable either, and you're not gonna get the result that you want.
And we want results,
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. And so, when is someone ready to hire a publicist? And we know that just like any other profession, there are varying degrees. And so, you know, in general, let's talk in general, and then of course, like, and for your company too.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say, you know, you're ready if you have done the work, like your business is generating revenue, it's good, and you just feel like, wait, you know, we've reached a certain mark that we're not able to break through that ceiling. We need to engage another audience, or we need to, like, open up another avenue. So it's like, if you reach that plateau and you're like, well, my audience, they love me, but it's just my audience. Like, there's nothing else outside of, like, nobody knows me outside of my people. Then it's time to engage a publicist or a PR team, because our job is to make sure not just that you keep your own audience engaged, but that you also start to engage other audiences so you can expand that awareness and your reach. So that's like one of the number one signs. It's like, all right, I'm doing well, but I'm still stuck and I can't get through. The second thing I would say is, once you built your business or your brand, it's like, all right, this thing is going, it's good, but now I want to position myself, like, as the business owner, as that thought leader, as the authority. Notice I didn't say expert, because I always say the age of the expert is gone. Like, we have overused and abused that word to the point where somebody that just started yesterday is now calling themselves an expert. Ooh. And so I say you want to be
ouch or amen, ouch or amen.
Both, a little bit of both, just a little bit of both. And so when you want to position yourself as the authority, like the resource, the go-to in your industry, that's when you want to tap on us to leverage our connections and our storytelling efforts to get you on the platforms where your audience already may reside. A lot of times, Sharvette, people, they say, oh, I want to be on the Forbes, the Black Enterprise, the Entrepreneur. And then we ask why, and they're like, because, it's like,
it's gonna look good on my website. It's gonna look good in my on my bio.
And I always tell them that, and that will not get you paid. That will not grow your audience if your people don't read it. To be honest, a lot of us don't read the stuff that we see on Forbes, in the magazine, or online. We don't read Success. We don't read Fast Company. We're not reading Black Enterprise. Let's just be true. Many of us are not reading it. We just want to see our names in it. And so I'm always like, you have to explain to me why you want to be in those platforms. Because, like, 9 times out of 10, the people that want to buy from you and that will engage you probably are not reading those. They're probably reading smaller local publications or other blogs, or spending their time on platforms that you're not even considering, because all you see is, I want to be in the big spotlight. Well, that's not really a good way. It's not a strategy to get you where you want to be.
Oh, this is good. Listen, Alicia said this is good. Jeanette said great explanation. Hey, Valerie. And listen, Valerie, I know you are in media where you are a Great Point TV host, I believe. Let us know what station you're on, Valerie. So yes. So I love it, Maleeka. And you have an amazing Facebook group. So I definitely want to shout that out while listeners are listening in, watching, and they're like, oh, this is right up the alley of the direction I need to go. How can they get in your group?
Yes, absolutely. So the name of the group is Social Proof Success. And if you go to socialproofsuccess.com, you can actually get in the group that way, or you can just look for it on Facebook. But in my group is where I do a lot of my educating and somewhat entertaining, because I think people are always laughing, but they don't realize how serious I am. I do a lot of education on public relations and how that social proof component comes in. Like the social proof is like your testimonials that your clients give you, getting featured or mentioned in a publication, getting, a shout out on social media, even this, like me being on your radio show, this is a part of social proof to say, hey, I'm actually out here doing the work. I know how to get the results. The question is, are you ready to do the work? And so in my group, I do a lot of training and education on public relations and how to make it work for your business. And people know, like, I'm giving my best stuff over there. Like, I don't believe in holding back just because it's a free group. Like, Who cares? Because one thing I do know is like 98% of people that listen are not going to do anything. Ooh. So what is it costing me at the end of the day if you decide not to take action? It's on you. It's not, you can't say that I didn't give you the goods. So definitely meet me in the group. I promise you will learn something day one.
Day one. Okay, so how can they get to the group? Tell them exactly how to get to the group.
Yes, socialproofsuccess.com. That's how you spell it. socialproofsuccess.com.
All right.
Go to it, click the button, get in. Got to answer the questions though, because my gatekeepers won't let you in if we don't know you like that.
Right. All right, wonderful. Thank you, Valerie from Montgomery, Alabama, WSFA. Thank you for watching 12 News. I appreciate you. All right.
When I'm in Selma, where my family is from, I actually watch WSFA. My family's in Selma, Alabama. So
okay, yeah. Wonderful. So this is what I want to do. Take a quick commercial break, and then when I come back, that I do a lot in the visibility, visual branding space. And so I want you to we talked a little bit about the mindset and knowing who you are, but visually, can I come to you with, and don't answer it now, but we're going to answer that after the commercial break. Can I come to you with selfie pictures and no website and all that good stuff? And I want you to work all your magic and get me in all these places. And so hold it.
I'm holding it.
Hold it. Okay, we're going to a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. So don't you move. Welcome to all those that are coming on in. I see you. Thank you so much. Here we go. We'll be right back.
Strategically Inspired Solutions is your source for personal and professional development services. Our dedicated team of transformational coaches, speakers, and consultants know how to drive innovation and deliver high-impact results. In our one-on-one or group coaching programs, you will discover and design the authentic life you have always desired. Strategically Inspired Solutions also offers comprehensive consulting services to small, mid-size, and large firms. We invite you to join our family of clients and partners by visiting our website at www.sysmotivation.com. We look forward to working with you in creating a newfound purpose, vision, and energy for yourself, your company, and within your communities.
All right. Welcome back to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the World Wide Web. We're so excited for all those that are listening in live or any of our broadcast or rebroadcast stations and all of that. Definitely hang out with us at Sharvette.com, our main website. You can find out full bios and websites, links, and all that to all of our guests. And if they missed, or you have a friend that missed any of our shows, say, oh, you got to go back and check it out. So Sharvette.com is the best place to do that. So let's jump back in with our guest. Maleeka Hollaway is with us here and getting a lot of love here. Hey, Barbara, it's so true. Maleeka is excellent. So you got a shout out there.
Thank you, Barbara.
All right, wonderful. So let's chat about the visual, because if you're going to go on TV with Valerie, if we're going to be even in these types of settings, visually, what are visual things people should have in place?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a two-edged sword on this one, and this is why I say that. Because I have clients who have all like the professional branded pictures where they're gorgeous, they're handsome, they're stunning, they have on the different outfits. And then I have some who literally have 7-figure businesses. And when I say I'm forcing them to do photo shoots, because they're like, yo, this selfie is dope. And I'm like, you know what? Just give me the selfie. Like I just need a photo. This is like not in the bathroom, of course, but if you were cute that day, even one of the pictures that I use for promo stuff is a selfie. This is the thing. You want to show up in the most professional way as possible, like on your website, on your social media, whenever you're public facing. But you also have to keep in mind that people vibe with what's authentic. And so if you're not every day showing up made up and dolled up and spruced up, but those are the pictures that people see, when you finally do go live or you show up in person, you don't want people to go, is that her? Who is that? And so I feel like you need to have a balance of it. So you do need your professional, high definition photos. You want your website and everything to be visually appealing. And I know some people go, well, I made money without the website and without all the bells and whistles. Absolutely, you can. But when you're ready to go to another level, you have to operate on another level. So professional pictures are always great. If you have that good selfie, use it until you can't use it anymore. However, just be prepared to make the investment in the way you show up visually, especially like on your marketing materials, because everybody knows on social media, we're people. So no, I'm not going to be made up every day. I'm not going to be dolled up. But if your first impression of meeting somebody and it's a bad selfie or a bathroom selfie, that may cause you to miss out on something. Yeah. And so just be mindful of that. You need a healthy balance of both, because if you're not going to show up like that, if they see you in the street, you want to make sure that they know who you are. Most people go, oh, you look just like how you look online. And I'm like, yeah, like that's kind of how it works.
Maleeka, I get that too. I get that too. And I'm like, ain't I supposed to? I know that's wrong English. Ain't I supposed to? But I get that. Like, oh, wow, you look like your page. And that's because there's so many instances where people don't.
Yep. They don't. So you want to show up professional, but you also want to show up authentic. And that's one of the main reasons why I don't show up with makeup. Like I do the brows, I might do the lashes, may do eyeliner, but on a day-to-day basis, this is what you get. Because unless I'm hitting the stage, 9 times out of 10, I'm not gonna be dolled up. Like it's just not my nature. I'm gonna be cute, but not beat, So I just think it's important to have those things, because when people request them, you need to be able to like turn them out. But it won't make or break you if you don't. Does that make sense? Like it really does not.
Absolutely. So there you have it. So if someone's saying, I want to work with your company, what's the process? Or do you have openings? How does that all work?
Few openings, very few openings. We are extremely selective about who we like. And I think I've always been that way, because at the end of the day, we do reputation management. And so if I can't trust that you are doing things with integrity, or like if your brand is like not up to the standard that the rest of my clients are, if I don't feel like we can get you there in a good amount of time, then I'm like, go ahead and go to the next person. So I would always say, and this, even when people inbox me, I never necessarily just direct them to our website, like info@theomg.biz. I always say, join my Facebook group and start in the videos that are pinned. And it's 4 questions you should be able to answer before you just consider hiring a publicist or a PR team. I always say, start with that video. Because when I tell you, Sharvette, it's so crazy. Everybody that watches it, they come back and go, hey, I have work to do. Like,
I'm gonna be back on that.
Because at the end of the day, some people would say, what we do, I can't say is necessarily a premium price tag. But it's not one of those, oh, here you go today. I'm paid today, I'm blowing up tomorrow. No, it takes time, it takes patience, it takes digging deep. And so I like I said, I like to do the educational process. So I would recommend, if you say, hey, I want to engage Maleeka, you can definitely go over to the website, info@theomg.biz, but I'm going to direct you to go to the Facebook group and watch that video. And if you can say, yes, I'm ready to go after watching that video, then you can book a call, because you only get one call.
All right.
Then you can book a call. If you can't watch that video and know that all your ducks in a row, then it's like, you got work to do. So you need to be doing some learning. And I think, my people know I'm pretty adamant about that.
Yeah. Listen, one of our mutual friends here, Pat Chapman, she said, "Tell it, Maleeka." I know she's active in your community. Love it. True Serenity Teas. Pat, put your information in the comments for us. All right. And so speaking of which, you mentioned something that was really great around timing. And so I want to help set people's expectation. Is this I just work with you 30 days and boom, I'm gonna be on Oprah.com. What's the realistic time people should bake in around their public relations and media relations?
I'm going to say number one, two answers to that. Number one, whenever you engage a PR team or a publicist, you need to be prepared to work with them for like 3 years, a minimum of 3 years.
Okay.
Because this person is literally taking on pretty much the face of your company, of your brand. Like, they're in charge of messaging. Most people look at PR, there's an issue, like you're the one writing the statement, but that's only a piece. And that doesn't happen very often for some industries. And so you need to be prepared to make this like your PR person, your PR team, like an intricate part of your company. And so it needs to be a long-term relationship. Secondly, we work off, our agreements start at 6 months, and I'm heavily considering changing that to a year, like off the rip, because of the fact the news cycle, we work with the news cycles and they change quickly. And something that may be relevant today, tomorrow, maybe no one will care. And so our job is not just to talk about what you have going on right now, but what did you do? What's going on right now? And then what's coming up in the future. So sometimes when the clients come, they hit the ground running, and we can start pitching them immediately based off what's happening. But they also have to have a lot of elements together. So I would say you need to look at about 6 months. Before you see anything popping up.
All right. There you go. And so I'm telling you what, our time is wrapping up so quick. This is okay. So I want you to give, so that's working with an agency, but there are DIY things. There are things that people can pursue on their own. And so maybe 1 or 2 tips as we get ready to wrap up this segment around DIY, something people could go out and start doing on their own.
Yes. Number 1, you can start doing your research now. Yeah. Find out who's talking about things that are relevant to you and what you do on those publications you want to be on. So if you want to see your name on Forbes, if you are a coach, what type of coach are you? Who's interviewing coaches that talk about mindset? Who's interviewing, like Serenity Tea? Who's interviewing, talking about loose leaf teas? Who's talking about subscription boxes? So you want to do your research to figure out, all right, who's actually already talking about my industry? And with that, then you can start making the connections to see, okay, they've been talking about XYZ, but they haven't talked about this. Let me reach out to them and tell them why they need me to be the expert or to give the quote on that. So you can do that on your own. It just takes a lot of time, and that is okay. And the second thing you can do is you can start showing up on your platforms more. A lot of times we neglect our own media, so we're not publishing anything on our websites regularly. We're not sending emails. We're not posting on social media. Like, we're not showing up for ourselves the way we should. And so before you try to hire somebody to build your exposure, to build your awareness, how about you do it first? You get consistent in doing those things. Because one thing I can say, when you come over here to try to work with OMG, I'm gonna be like, hey, you do know you're a part of this process, right?
Right.
You have to be right.
Throw this off and sit back and.
That's not how it goes. Right. Like, you have to be a part of your process. So start getting those ducks in a row now and really hone in. Okay, what do I want the people to know? Like, what part of the business do I want to share? What part of my story is relevant right now? Because everything's not relevant all the time. So that's work you can start doing right now and really ask yourself, why? Why do I want to be seen? Why do I want to be heard? Like, that's a really big question that not many people can answer. Like, oh, I can help change lives. For what? How? Like, we can all change lives, but what makes you so different? That's the stuff you have to dig deep to figure out. And be able to relay that message to a me or to someone in branding or communications, whatever it may be. So we can say, okay, that makes sense. This is how we're going to achieve that. So you can be doing the work now, but I would say get consistent in doing the work.
All right. And branding is largely about consistency and visibility. Shout out to Chanel, who popped in, who I know is also a awesome community member and all around. Now. All right. Wonderful. Well, this has been amazing. And so I think we would both say that media exposure is going to help position your brand in front of your customers, in front of new audiences. And so that's really kind of the crux of it. Is any final kind of words you would say around that?
Yeah, I mean, even in my Facebook group and in my membership that, you can get into, one of my clients, she literally holds on to everything I said from like the time the doors open until now. And every other week, probably consistently for the past about 4 or 5 weeks, she's getting featured in all the financial industry publications, signed her first 5-figure contract, and was like, wait a minute, just from telling my story, just from being visible, just from showing up, all of this is happening. Like, wait a minute, this stuff really does work the way you say it does. I'm like, well, yeah, I wouldn't say it if it didn't work. So just take that into consideration. Like, public relations is indirect marketing, but if you're doing it consistently, like Sharvette said, if you're showing up, it will work out. Like, it'll work out for you.
It will work out. Awesome. Awesome. Maleeka is no joke. She teaches you the social proof. Love her group. So there you go. There you go. And yes, Valerie, stories matter. Stories matter. Wonderful. Wonderful. My last final question for real. The goal of the show, because I honor people's time. The goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we want to know what continues to motivate Maleeka.
Oh, changing people's lives. And this is in this way. Showing them parts of themselves that they didn't think were possible, or showing them how you may thought like this was your path and you were only going to get to this level. But if you walk with me, I'm going to take it up another level. Like, that really is what keeps me going, not just in business, but like with my family, with my daughter. It's like, I'm about to show y'all something that we never even considered. And that is literally like my driving force. Like, I'm never satisfied. I'm like, nope, what's next? We got to take it up a notch. And so as long as I feel like I'm progressing, and I'm taking my people with me, like, that's my driving force. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Well said. Shout out from my sister, my blood sister, Kim, who's listening on Periscope. Good job, sis. And Miss Maleeka Hollaway. Thanks, Kim.
Thank
you.
All
right. We are wrapping up the membership, the membership information. Listen, if you go to Sharvette.com, we've linked website information. If you get into the group, you can find out about the membership, all of that good stuff. So wonderful. Thank you so much for being here, Maleeka.
Thank you. The time was too quick.
I know. That just means we got to have you back.
We'll do it again.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
You're welcome. All right. Wonderful. Hey, Dominique. Good to see you. Hello. The ceiling is our floor. There you go. There you have it. So guys, listen, this has been an amazing segment. Again, you can find out more about the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show and all of our guests, past and coming up, at Sharvette.com. Share this broadcast out. I know you have people on your timeline who are business owners, entrepreneurs, coaches, authors, thought leaders, ministry, nonprofit, not-for-profit, however you want to say it. Everyone can benefit from media and PR. And so this is such good grounded information. I want you guys to go ahead and share it out. Thanks for all of the live viewers and listeners. Thank you so much, Valerie. Great show. Another great show. Thank you so much. We are signing off, and we're going to be back here for another segment. Listen, you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss any of this good stuff. All right. I'll see you guys later.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Catch Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.